Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. Today I am showing a very interesting fountain pen in my opinion. I think the brand was Chinese as far as I understood, and for a few years you could find them on eBay or AliExpress, but for whatever reasons this brand seems like it has disappeared and I am unable to find them anymore. Kind of a pity, I would say, because I do like their fountain pens. I bought this fountain pen from eBay and I paid around 23 Canadian dollars plus an additional 2 Canadian dollars for shipping. As a reminder, weight and dimensions are in the description below if you're interested. The fountain pen has a nice sort of a classical cigar shape and quite simple in its build. We don't have any finials that we can talk about. And the only thing that stands out on the fountain pen is the clip that, while has a very odd design, when paired with the design of the fountain pen, it is actually fairly functional and works pretty well. Doing that shirt test, slides in without an issue. This is how much you see out of the pen, and slides out just as nicely without an issue. The clip is a little bit stiff, however it can accommodate a few different size pockets. To be honest, I think I would have liked this fountain pen if it didn't have the clip even better, because well, probably would have looked a little bit better. The cap, it's a twist cap, works actually very nicely, and actually it can be removed quite quickly under 2 turns, and that will reveal a resin section that basically is made out of the same material as the rest of the fountain pen. And this particular model comes with a Schmidt number 5 nib, which I actually like, and as such this is an actual nib unit that can be removed very easily. Having a quick look inside the cap, everything is very simple, no actual inner liners that we can talk. At the end we do have what seems to be a plastic screw that holds in the place the clip. And back to the fountain pen. Section is actually fairly nice to hold. The way it meets the barrel, it's pretty nice. No big step ups in there, so I don't think the fountain pen will be uncomfortable in any way to anyone. The threads are actually nice, not sharp, and they actually help with gripping the fountain pen. The barrel, obviously it's a twist barrel as well, and open up actually very nice. The threads are very nice and smooth. We have a pretty tall collar on the section, holding and supporting the converter that comes with the fountain pen. And I'm not sure if you can see, but this converter seems to be an actual Schmidt converter. So this fountain pen seems to be built around pretty good components, I would say. And looking inside the barrel, just as simple as the cap. And I think in theory you should be able to use this fountain pen as an eyedropper. However, because of this tall collar that goes around the converter, when you put the barrel back down and you turn it nib down, ink might basically get between this collar and the barrel. So if you do use it as an eyedropper, when you remove the section once you're out of ink, just be careful. You will most probably have drips, ink drops coming down the threads. In hand, the fountain pen is actually pretty present. For my hand, the length of the pen, it's just pretty much at the end for me, just sticking out very little above my knuckle in there. However, I do like the way it feels in hand. Pretty good balance as far as I can see in the middle of the pen, uninked. If the length of the fountain pen is not good enough, the pen does pose quite securely. However, it will be a little bit top heavy. balance wise is definitely at the edge of the cap, so a little bit above the middle. One odd thing is that the cap doesn't really post straight. You can sort of make it post straight, but you have to fiddle a little bit with it to get in there. However, it is definitely secure in place. For drawing, I think it will be quite okay, pleasant. I don't think it will be an issue. For me, the way it posts and where the weight sits is right on my knuckle, so I don't actually find it annoying. But for smaller hands, you will most probably feel that top heavy. I think in theory I will only like this fountain pen unposted because, well, the wonky cap that posts in there, while it posts and is nice and secure, it does bother me visually at least that it's hard to get it straight in there. So I will most probably be using this fountain pen unposted. And that's about it. This is a very simple fountain pen. I'm really excited about it. Usually I like these number 5 Schmidt nibs. They're pretty much one of my favorites. I don't think I'll have any issues, but then again, I've been proven wrong like it was with my last review on the last Moonman that I reviewed, where that number 5 nib failed me completely. So I will try and not jinx this one as well. So I'll go ahead, I'll link it up, and I'll come back with a writing sample, and then hopefully we'll get a nice sketch out of it. The ink for today, I am going back to the Bamni Cold Barges black waterproof ink. There were no issues during the fill up, everything worked properly. So this is ADMOC Deluxe fountain pen. The nib seems to be working quite alright, no issues, a really nice line, no skips, and a perfect extra fine line, I would say. I love it. And the reverse, a little bit scratchy, ink doesn't seem to keep up if you go too fast. However, this could be some really nice effects if you're using them. And if you slow it down, seems to be working fine. So far so good, I like it. Everything seems to be working just fine. No issues with the nib, good flow, perfect line for drawing, I would say. I guess we shall see how it will work in my attempt of sketching that I'll have today. And this nib, you can get a little bit of line variation out of it. Obviously, I would not call it a flex or a semi-flex nib, but I would call it a fun nib. You can definitely have some nice lines with it. Alright, so far, so good. Let me dive into a sketch and I'll let you know my final impressions on this fountain pen. Today I managed to step away from the neurographic art that I've been stuck into and found myself trapped into a tangled mess that I really enjoy putting on the page. Kind of like this, I might pester you with a few of them in the future. As for the fountain pen, perform as expected and no actual issues that I can talk or think about. I even forgot what I was using and I was just focused on the drawing. What do I like about the ADMOC Deluxe fountain? There are a lot of things that personally I do like about the fountain pen. From the resin patterns that they used to have, unfortunately I was able to only get one of them, to the overall look, shape and build quality. It has a great weight, balance and a converter that is included, And overall, I think it's a very good fountain pen considering the price point it used to be sold at. Do I dislike anything about it? Hard to find anything that I dislike in this fountain pen. I would say maybe a few things that I find odd, but not necessarily bad. The first odd thing I would have to say is the design of the clip. Really, well, odd choice for the body type of the fountain pen. And the second thing, in my opinion, is the way it posts. It does post securely, but it could be, well, wonky a little bit, and as such, for some people like myself, might find it maybe slightly annoying. You can play with it until it is sitting properly straight, and once in place, it will stay there. But again, it can be fiddly a little bit. Overall, I do like the fountain pens that Admok used to make. Not sure what happened with the company, one bust or somebody else bought them off, but in my opinion, they had some interesting fountain pens. I have one more that I actually like even more, and it's actually a favorite of mine. I'm gonna present that one as well sometime in the future. Unfortunately, seems to be very hard or near impossible to find them today, but if by any chance you ever come across them, give them a chance, you might be surprised. And that's about it for today. Enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and if you have any other questions, leave a comment below and I will try and get to it as soon as I can. Thank you for joining me today. Hope I'll see you next time, and I wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Take care. Bye.